This morning, the department's spokesperson Elijah Mhlanga says learners will not finish school at grade 9. He also says that's not what the minister meant at all. So the question is, what did the minister mean? For clarity on the situation now, let us speak to our SABC News reporter Mahlako Komane, who covered the story yesterday. And we also have the basic education spokesperson Elijah Mhlanga. Good afternoon to both of you. Thank you so much for coming through. Maybe Mahlako, we should start with you. Just explain to us, in your understanding and what you reported on yesterday, what exactly did the minister say?
What the minister said, good morning, good afternoon, Balisa. The minister said, you heard the clip of what she said. It was then, there was also a press release that of the statement of the minister's speech that was also sent to one of the groups that education reporters are part of by Mr. Mhlanga. And it was there that we saw, I see in today's, also today's statement that Mr. Mhlanga also sent out that says that he quotes part of the speech that the field trial for the certificate at the end of grade 9 is scheduled for completion at the end of July 2020. It was then myself and another reporter, a radio reporter, we actually called Mr. Mhlanga. I called him and I asked, is this, my understanding of this, is this like an exit point? Is this similarly to matric where you can then go and access your university and whatnot and Technicon back in the days? Is this like a similar thing? And it was then that we were told, yes, it was similar to that at grade 9, and then you can go to your FET colleges where you can access whatever trade you might want to do. So that was yesterday when you sought that clarity? That was the clarity that you sought, and I think in our intro it was also there that they will then be able to access FET colleges after that. So I was very surprised this morning.
Let's just bring you into the discussion, Mr. Mhlanga. What exactly did the media get wrong, or what exactly did we hear the SABC get wrong?
Well, the part that says people will finish school in grade 9, that's a problem, because you don't finish in grade 9. You didn't show that tweet there. It says that means, which means it is explaining what the minister was saying. But that explanation is the one that was problematic. But
what exactly does, just put it into context for us. It says that they can exit after grade 9, isn't it?
Yeah, but they exit a normal school where there's an academic program, so that they're able to go to a school which will offer subjects or courses that they want to do in the technical occupational streams, because this particular certificate is part and parcel of this whole 3 streams of education which we have been rolling out with the unveiling of schools of specialization in Gauteng and other parts of the country. So it's part and parcel of that. It doesn't mean that you finish school and that's it, because that seems to be the message that a lot of people have received, and we seek to correct that.
Yeah, so that's basically just your area of concern, because you and I went through the media statement when it was released earlier today, yes, and we sort of compared the story that you brought yesterday with the media release. We couldn't really find anything out of the ordinary. So you're saying that the whole story was correct, but you were not just comfortable with the part where it says that school will finish at grade 9?
Yes, because that's exactly what people are reading. If you were to see what's trending today, it's about people laughing at someone who has a grade 9 and exploring all sorts of opportunities, because people are saying, in fact, some people are even saying, isn't this going to encourage people to not pursue their education until grade 12 because grade 9 is the end point? And we're saying, no, it's not a school leaving certificate.
Maybe this is the opportunity for you to sort of clarify it for us as to how will this unfold, because a lot of people are saying that are we now going back to an era of JC where our parents could finish at JC, which literally translated to grade 9 back in the days?
No, that's exactly the problem. They finish. There's no finishing. You're continuing, but in a different place. Remember, what we are talking about here is courses or subjects of trade, where you will be able to do subjects or courses in a place where the subjects have a huge practical component, which will enable you to be able to become a qualified plumber or electrician, or you've done woodwork or upholstery, whatever that you want to do, which is something that we want to encourage people to do, because it is what the NDP says we need to do. It even has targets of the number of people that we need to have produced in terms of artisans by year 2030. So we are working towards that. So we need to be accurate in terms of what we say, that It's not a school leaving certificate. It just takes you to another path, which will take you to another place, because what we have right now takes people to a path which is academic, and you end up with a degree which you cannot use, whereas you could go to a technical institution or a TVET college, which could give you skills that you require, that industry demands.
So did we really say that they were going to finish at grade 9?
No, we said that they could then go to FET colleges with this GEC.
So we didn't use any word finish in our package?
No, there was no finish. They could then take the certificate of this and then access those, as he says, rightfully become artisans or what, so artisans or whatever career path they may follow. And obviously, I mean, it's an honest conversation that needs to be had, that not everybody is going to go to university and not everybody is going to end up with some sort of degree, correctly so. So it was really concerning that we misled the public, which was entirely not true.
But we're talking about two things here. I think you're talking about the TV package, and I'm not talking about the TV
but
package.
I think a lot of people were
talking about the tweets.
They were screen grabbing our package on YouTube and they were tweeting it.
No, the tweets. Let's talk about the tweets. I responded to a screen grab of a tweet. I didn't say the TV report. I didn't say that. So let's be clear about that as well, so that we tackle this thing in a proper way. The tweet itself says that means learners could finish school. That's what the tweet says. I don't know what the TV package might say, but the tweet says.
I did see that tweet that you're referring to. So
yes.
This proposal, the minister said that it, on the other hand, seeks to reduce the rate of failure, repetition that we see, and a number of dropouts within our schools. Is this a good idea? Are we not trying to sort of shift our focus on what we are supposed to be focusing on?
No, there's nothing shifting. In fact, all these things that we are doing are building blocks of what has been laid down by the NDP. It said produce artisans. How do you do that? You talk to industry and say, industry, what are the skills of the future? And then the industry tells you, then you come back, you rework your curriculum. You say, how many high schools do we have? You say, okay, we have Rosefield High School near the airport. Let's convert this school into an aviation school. We've done that. You go to Soshanguve, which is close to Roslyn, where the BMW plant is. You talk to BMW. BMW comes on board. You go there. You have Soshanguve School of Automotive Engineering. Now they've taken their vehicle, which is there, used by the learners for study purposes, so that they know how an engine is assembled. How do you fix that which is wrong? What are you doing there? You are taking learners through trade skills, courses that are aligned to what is happening in that particular geographical area. In other areas, we'll be doing maritime schools. We'll go to do other schools as well in other places that are focusing on other things. So that's exactly what we're doing. So all these are building blocks of addressing exactly what the country needs, not today, but in the future. And alongside that, we're also introducing coding at foundation phase, robotics, and all of those things. So we are doing all of these things together. So it's in a context. It's not out of context. It's exactly what the country needs right now.
All right, you want to come in?
Yes, I also think maybe Mr. Mhlanga can just maybe, for clarity, because we're having issues of finish and not finish, I think maybe the clarity that the public may seek is within what then happens after grade 9 once I have my GEC. Will I still be falling under your department? Will I go to an FET? Am I now a burden of higher education? What exactly would the plan entail? And also you do speak about schools of specialization, but they don't necessarily cater for the amount that you have in the system already.
Yes, that's why in education you don't implement everything at once. You implement it in phases. You pilot it, learn lessons, so that when you go forward, you know what lessons you would have learned and things that you need to fix. So now we're talking to higher education and training, but also industry. So when you are still in the basic education system, you remain a person of the basic education department. That's why there have been reconfiguration in terms of what the Department of Higher Education has been since 2009. It has changed name now because it's been refocused to address exactly what basic education is doing, so that industry can receive qualified people with skills that can then develop the country going forward and build the economy. So it's all about all these things. If we look at one thing in isolation, you think it's out of context and we're out of focus. But if you look at what the president has been saying from the 21st of January in his address to the basic education Lekgotla in Birchwood, and to his State of the Nation on the 14th of February and the 17th of June when the minister delivered a budget vote speech, you will see that these things are coming together. You will also see that this has been researched. We've also done comparative studies with other countries in Africa and elsewhere, and we found that this is the right thing to do.
But you have a number of education experts who are worried with this particular proposal. Some people saying that we are still trying to deal with the progression policy that was recently implemented, where the learners were literally pushed to the next level even if they were not so deserving, so to say. And here we are now, many are concerned with the standard of education, saying that learners will now think that at grade 7 you can actually just leave school and start going to TVET colleges.
No,
so is this not a worry for the Department
in
of
fact,
Education?
what we are doing addresses exactly the question that you're asking. I'm glad you're asking it because people don't understand it. The progress learners are not able to progress because they are forced into the academic stream. That's why now we are saying there will be a technical stream, there will be an occupational stream,
and as a result, it
academic
affects
stream.
the pass rate within the education system.
No,
so
we're
you're
not
trying
worried.
to fix that as well.
No, we're not worried about the pass rate. We're worried about skills that young people must have. So what we are doing now is to open the scope to make the choices available so that those that want to follow trade path are able to do that, so that there's no bottlenecks in the system. Because right now, when you look at our grades 10, 11 and 12, there's a lot of dropouts, and these are people who drop out when they get to grade 10 and they are forced to be in a school which does not offer what they want. And then boredom comes in, and then people say, school doesn't help me anyway, so I might as well drop out. That's what happened. So now we are going to bring that which excites you, that which you want, and say to you, with this general education certificate, use it as an access certificate to where you want to go, where you'll be able to pursue the career path of your choice.
All right, I just want to ask my producers to put up the tweet that you were referring to earlier on. Let's just put it on the screen and see what it says. That's the tweet from SAFM. Were you aware of this tweet, Mahlako?
I don't tweet for SAFM, so I can't comment on that.
So this is the tweet. Okay, so now it's been clarified that it's not finishing school. It's just an optional view exiting to a TVET college. We know a number of countries are using this exit point system. Zimbabwe, for example, they've got this 2 exit point system, and it's one of the highest literacy rate countries, Zimbabwe. What lessons are you going to be drawing from countries such as Zimbabwe going forward?
We've been to Zimbabwe several times. Even this year, the minister was there with the DG. We learn from them. They come, they learn from us as well. That's why we are seeing a lot of our young people from the neighboring countries coming through to write the National Senior Certificate, because it is becoming to look like what they have as well. And it's also a gateway for them to go to tertiary institutions that are not necessarily in South Africa, but other parts of the world as well. And we have information that confirms that. So we work together with the SADC countries, but we also work
but I was
together.
referring to the specific model.
Yeah, it's there. I mean, there's a whole list of countries that we have in our document where comparative studies were done. It's there, it works. That's why we're confident that it's something that we should go with. Go to Madagascar, Botswana, Malawi, and all these countries. They have something like this. That's why they're successful, and we want to be successful as well. And we take best practices and we bring them here so that we can use them to help our country.
All right, so in terms of the implementation, is it July 2020?
We're doing work. Remember, if we are going to have a national examination, you need to make sure that Umalus is aware of it and they approve the subjects that are going to be offered through this particular initiative, and that the examination as well is approved in terms of how and when it's going to be run in the year. So we're waiting for that. So it's still in the works, but the timeframes that the minister spoke about in a speech yesterday remain as
Public
okay.
consultation processes going forward, as you may have seen the Twitter storm yesterday.
We actually appreciate when South Africans engage on issues of education. It's a priority that everyone really needs to pay attention to, not only when something happens. We need to engage on it all the time. It's the only thing that the country has to take it forward. So we appreciate it. Inputs are always welcome. We're always open at the Department of Basic Education. If people have other ideas that can help us, please bring them through. We'll be able to take that into account.
All right, time constraints, we'll leave it at that. Many thanks to you, SABC News reporter Mahlako Komane. Are you happy with the response?
Well, well,
Not convinced.
Not convinced.
Elijah
No,
Mhlanga,
we
thank
never
you so much
finish our
for
issues
coming.
with Mahlako. I'm not surprised. Yeah.
All right, many thanks there to my studio guests. Moving along now, ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa says the party's National Executive Committee is meeting